Speaking of border and abroad, life is not always smooth abroad. You can find yourself on the streets when things go haywire. On Daring Abroad tonight, Alex Chamwada tells us about the ups and downs one Jimmy Ondiege has gone through in London before settling as an immigration consultant.
I came in 1992. Initially, I came in as a visitor. In those days, Kenyans did not need visas to come to the United Kingdom. So we would come and get the visas right at the airport.
So for Jimmy, the entry was as easy as a pie. But later, he would come to terms with the real meaning of living abroad.
Life was very rough. There were not very many Kenyans around at that time.
He would soon find himself on the streets.
I remember spending nights in the bus when I didn't have a house. I would go into the night buses, and the good thing about London is that it's a 24-hour life. So buses are all over 24 hours. So I would go from the last stop to the next stop. At the end of the stop, I come out and then jump to the next bus going back. And that's how I would sleep.
Jimmy then got a chance to go to the university.
My stay was supposed to be for 6 months, but it was also easy to join a college and extend your status. So that's what I did. I did music management at Brunel University. Then I got employed as a teacher, and for some reason my employers they folded up, so there was no more work.
After losing a job as a teacher, life had to go on.
I decided to do taxi. So at that time I borrowed my friend's car. This car has no insurance, no tax, no MOT. In London you have to have the three to drive a car. The MOT is a certificate to show that your car is roadworthy.
At that time, Jimmy says he had already been kicked out of his house for he could not afford rent. The taxi became his home.
And that time I would leave my girlfriend, who is my wife now, leave her standing at the taxi office. By the time I'm coming back, my poor girl has been rained on, she's wet all over. Then I turn on the heating in the car. She sits in the car as we wait for the next turn.
The taxi business would eventually become untenable, he says, and his next move was to get a job in a mortuary as an undertaker.
Undertaker means people who care for the body of the dead bodies. My first duty was to clean them up, dressing up a dead body. Let's call it dead body. Then I moved on from that point to the worst point was to collect bodies.
A well-paying job, he says, but traumatizing.
And that was the most trying moment of my life as well.
He quit the job to try something else, teach music.
So I began teaching music in houses, and slowly we set up a college. We began with about 10 students, but by 2005 we had about 4,000 students. It was a full-fledged college.
Unfortunately, again, his business started taking a dip. Why? Because of changing immigration in the UK that affected his students.
The changes to immigration rules meant that if you are studying at a private college, you were not allowed to bring in your spouse or a family. Number two, you are not allowed to work. And that saw most of our clients actually leaving and going back to their countries.
At the same time, Jimmy, a father of two, fell sick. His wife had to look for employment, but still things were worsening, with the family struggling to pay bills.
We were not able to keep up with our mortgages. So when the repossession came, they repossessed almost everything.
Jimmy says he faced the tribulations with a lion's heart and never allowed trouble to bring him down. He rose from the ashes again after enrolling for a law degree and decided to venture into consultancy.
We help people to come here to the United Kingdom. Those who want to come through visit visas, work permits, those who want to come through settlement routes or family reunions, or those who want to come on business. We help to process their visa application with the embassies. Those who have been refused visas, we also appeal on their behalf at the tribunals in the United Kingdom. And those who have been detained, either in the police station or at the immigration detention centers, we help to apply and obtain bails for them.
This is Jimmy's parting shot.
Kenyans back home always think that London is heaven. Once you land here, you walk sweeping money. It is not as easy as they might think.
Very rare to get Kenyans who are willing to share their rough side of life while living abroad, but Jimmy has shared his, and that's daring abroad.